Hey kids,
Hey, Dad!
what do you want to do today?
We don't know!
Want to go to the movies?
No!
Want to go to the water park?
No!
Want to go play disc golf?
Yeah! Let's go play disc golf!
Hey everyone, welcome back to RC Disc Golf Podcast. With me today is Trevor Goodyear.
What's going on?
What's up? Yeah, bring that mic right up to your face. There you go. What's up, Trevor? What's going on?
No, I'm just out here. I did get to play today. It was a nice day outside, so.
Oh yeah. I didn't get to play because I worked and then came right home, but I did stop at a field on my way home though and threw a couple.
Always smart.
Just to keep my arm nice and fresh. But I'm still breaking just 300, so I can't seem to push the boundary on that yet.
It's a very big wall at 300.
Yeah.
It once you get it, it feels really, really, really good.
Mhm.
But it takes a good bit of effort to actually break through that wall on a consistent basis.
Yeah. Because I'm let's see, I think like 320, 335 are like my furthest types of drives.
Okay.
But I mean, we gotta have like perfect weather conditions for these.
Yeah, a little tailwind.
A little bit of tailwind, but not too much. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Don't hit a tree. So, that's
Step
like
one.
that's the only way I can get like that type of distance. So it doesn't really happen that often. But other than that, yeah, I'm averaging 275, 300.
There you go.
So it's not too bad
It's a good distance
for our area. It's playable.
Yeah,
So,
275, 300 straight is
Mhm.
gonna be 400 wherever it's gonna go almost
Yeah.
every single time.
downhill. Yeah. So, a little bit about yourself then. How long have you been playing for?
I started during COVID.
Okay, me too.
My grandma lives on the street that goes into Como Park.
Mm.
So she was seeing people at the course every single day and was like, "Hey, I see these people out. We're obviously all looking for things to do that
Yeah,
are
right.
outside when you can." It seemed like, especially during that time, we were always just cramped up inside, nothing to do, couldn't go anywhere, couldn't do anything. So,
Mhm.
that's kind of how we got started. She bought us all starter sets for some holiday.
Nice.
And so that's how I kind of get into it.
That's really cool. I don't think anybody got in by family members like that, other than ones that are actively playing.
Yeah, she had no
So-
idea what it was. She just saw people doing it. So
That's
she was, we were like, okay.
That's great. So then when did you get involved with Spartan?
I got involved with Spartan a few years ago. Like I said, I was constantly at Como.
Mhm.
I kind of fell in love with the game right off the bat. Just something to do outside, especially when I was still in high school at the time.
Okay.
So in between school and doing after school activities and stuff like that, it was a good way to just get outside, have some fun. You're still being active. You can get some conditioning out of it and stuff like that. So it can kind of be a nice relaxing activity while still having some type of competitive aspect to it.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I got into it too, because I wanted to get out and do some physical activity again, try
Yep.
to lose some weight, and hiking in these areas kind of would help. But then I started, playing and drinking during leagues, so that didn't really help out either. But we're off
Happens.
doing that.
Happens.
It happens. There's a lot of peer pressure during these leagues around here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you do the one at Sunday Fun Day at Como Park.
Yep.
You've been doing that one for a while now.
Yep.
That's great. Tell people a little bit about that don't know about it.
So Sunday Fun Day we like to market it as it's a great introduction to leagues in general. It's very casual. It's very relaxed. That being said, you are buying in and there are payouts, so you can take it as seriously or as not seriously as you want. With a $10 buy-in, there's not a whole lot at stake.
Yeah, right.
But the other cool thing about it, especially for newer people, is the amount of CTPs that we offer.
Okay.
So we have guaranteed 2 CTPs a week. They're both cash CTPs. They're included in your buy-in price. You don't have to pay extra. And we very, very, very frequently get donated discs or prizes or, as you mentioned earlier, a case of beer. a couple. It's not too uncommon for stuff like that to happen. So you can come and all you need is one good shot on whatever hole we pick for the week.
Yeah,
and
right.
you can easily walk away with something,
Yep.
even if you're brand new or if you've been playing for forever.
I don't know. All of mine always get taken away from me. Every time I put my name on a CTP card, somebody sneaks one in further.
Yeah.
So that happens a lot. James Carmen took the last one from me. I'm a little salty about that still, James.
Brutal.
So it's all right.
He's calling you out.
It's all right. It's a lot of fun. I've done Sunday Fun Day at Como last year. I didn't get it. I don't have chances to get out to Como very often.
Yeah.
But I did do the new one at JD last week.
Okay.
And that was
Awesome.
that was great. It was still wet, still soggy
it's-
feet at the end of the day,
It's
but
that time of year.
but it was still great. I got myself a bag tag. I think I'm 55.
Nice.
So
Nice. Adding the bad tags this year has been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm gonna challenge whoever's in top 10 somewhere just to sneak in there. I'm gonna pick out.
Let me know, buddy.
Yeah, all right. I think you got me, but we could try it out. I don't know. Is Nicole in the top 10 list?
Nicole is not. I think she
Okay.
is mid-20s, I want to
Okay.
say. Somewhere
Yeah.
around there, because I know they were tossing around bag tags during the last tournament we were at. I'm
Okay.
blanking on where we were.
I'm gonna pick the low man on the
but-
top 10 list.
I think we usually have a couple of higher numbers. We had
Mhm.
last Sunday, we had 1, 2, and 3, I believe, were
Oh, wow.
all up for grabs. So we usually have a couple. I know there were a few that were given away at JD when I went up there for Nicole's birthday party.
Okay.
That we helped throw for her. After I went up, I flew up there right after
Okay.
our Sunday Fun Day. But there's been a lot of participation. Even last week when we were pushing everybody to go up to JD for that, we
Mhm.
still had 10, 11 people, and 6 or 7 of them had bag tags. So
Nice.
there's always opportunity. Even if, let's say, you have a rough week, you can still come back that next week and still have a shot at a top 10 tag at
Mhm.
either location. So
Mhm.
that's another kind of cool thing about it.
Well, that doesn't transfer from location to location, right? So because they're both on Sunday. Say
Yep.
there's bag tags tossed in at Como and then at JD. It's not going to work that way, right?
They can cross over.
Okay.
That being said, it would have to be something that happens. There's a couple ways that can happen. Is somebody gets one. Like I said, we handed them all out at Como the
Mhm.
first week of Sunday Fun Day. If somebody goes and, like, let's say they just rotate in between weeks,
Yeah.
so one week they go to Como, get their tag, and then the
Oh,
next
I
week
was-
they
I
go
was-
play in JD.
I was talking like the same day. Like
Oh yes,
you beat somebody that happened to play at Como, but you were at JD that day because
Yes.
you got a better score or whatever.
yes, that's definitely a kind of a downfall of it. But
Okay.
at least it's not like those tags are locked in. Like, only set numbers are at one and set numbers are at another. They
Yeah.
can cross over. They can mix and match. They can,
Mhm.
we've been putting them up for, like I said, we were doing a tournament rounds.
Oh yeah.
At the Griffin. That's what I was trying to come up with earlier.
Okay.
There were 3 rounds at that tournament,
Mhm.
and we were switching bag tags around
Nice.
for every
nice,
round.
nice.
So it's not strictly for these. You can, like I said, if you want to challenge somebody in the top 10, you could go out to whatever course and
Mhm.
you can exchange them there. It's not strictly limited to those just Sunday Fun Day.
Okay. Yeah, that's my plan. I'm gonna take some. I gotta pick my partner.
Go
You
do
know?
it.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know who's actually on the list of because you guys only posted top 10, so I don't know who else
Yep.
has one.
Yep.
But next event I think I have is just a point series. So
Okay.
we'll see who's on my card if anybody has one.
Okay.
See if they want to throw it in there.
Okay.
Little-
I know a lot of people have been going to the Point Series events, so I know
Mhm.
chances are you can find somebody who's ahead of you that'll throw it up.
Most likely, we'll see. We'll see. It'd be like a nice little fun side bet type of deal
Oh yeah,
for the
absolutely.
day. Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
maybe motivate me to actually make my circle 2 putts. But
Whatever it takes.
I know, right? I'm getting closer, coming from deep. I know I made a pretty big one at JD. I think it was like 65, 70 feet
There you go.
for a big putt. That was the only birdie I had of the day.
You doing are you putting it or are you doing a little
No,
little toss?
little toss.
Little
I was
toss? There you
kind of
go.
like a little praying type of layup.
Okay.
Hit the basket or stay close,
There
and
you
it
go.
stayed in. So even
you
better. Yeah, I'm pretty decent at doing that.
Nice
Judging,
little skill.
yeah, judging my distance though of when to actually like do a slight little toss versus like a jump putt or putting it up there though. I'm kind of getting into trying to figure out the distance of when to do that.
Yeah,
So
playing around with them, playing with different discs.
mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes if you're doing the little frisbee style pitch toss type deal,
Yeah.
if there's a certain disc that's a little more comfortable, that's not your putting putter, you can always, I know some people who mess around with doing that as well. Or if you're more comfortable doing like a little forehand pitch, or instead
Oh,
of
yeah.
trying to really get behind a putt or get behind a jump putt or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
that's something I've seen a lot. It's something I've done myself as well. So
Okay. All right. Oh yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah, that was my only birdie of the day. Yeah, I just lost my thought there. Yeah, every other one that was like within like 10, 15 feet, I had like a chain out, either left side or right side. I was just missing the mark though. JD
yeah,
baskets though, they kind
welcome
of
to JD.
yeah. I mean, I'm so excited for new baskets to come in
Yeah,
there
hopefully
because
it should be soon.
I was told soon. I'm assuming within like another. I'm gonna say a month, but for them all to
Let's
actually
pray.
be in there, I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to that because those new baskets are going to catch those right side, left side chains a
Yeah.
lot better. So
Yep.
that's going to be
I
great.
agree. There's been plenty of dizzles, as we
Mm-hmm.
refer to, trying to put on a
That's
CBD basket.
Yeah, that's a good name for it. So, any other things that have been going on? You guys have been doing a lot in the community lately. Now, you're a part of the Buffalo Niagara membership,
I
right?
am a Buffalo Niagara Disc Golf member. Yes.
Yes. Okay. You're on the board of it, or just a
I am
member?
not technically on the board.
Okay.
That being said, I am obviously very close with a lot of people who are on the board.
Mm-hmm.
So I get a lot of the information, even though I don't have my name is I don't have a title on
Okay.
the board.
Okay. I thought you were, but okay. Because you're always there. You're
Yeah,
always hanging out.
I am always
Yep.
there. That's
So
that's for sure.
I thought you were on it, but it's all right. But you are doing a lot of new clinics now with youths around here.
Yeah, we did the Niagara Falls police kids camp, and those
Okay.
were awesome. Those were a ton of fun. The first session we had, I want to say it was 12 kids, 13 kids, something like that.
Okay.
And then the second one we had right around 10, and both of those the kids were awesome. We got to use a lot of the donated discs, and we were able to give them away from donations that people have brought in, and we were
Nice.
able to give those to the kids who were able to bring them home. We gave them a couple course locations that were around that area. Obviously, we told them about Joseph Davis
Mhm.
and a couple other ones that are around there. Pine Woods we brought up just as a good beginner course. But those were a lot of fun. They went really well.
Mhm.
So those hopefully we'll be able to continue to keep that relationship and use that to build our resume and continue to do more.
So how do you guys go about doing that? Is it just reaching out to anywhere in the communities?
Pretty much. Some of it is us reaching out, and some of them, I believe, in this instances, they reached out to us.
Okay.
So I think they saw. I'm not 100% on any of this.
That's fine.
But I
love
believe-
spreading rumors, so.
I believe they had seen something that we had done and wanted to do a disc golf day, considering it was a camp.
Okay.
So I believe they had. I mean, when they got there was all kinds of sporting equipment that was there. They had a couple footballs. They had
Mhm.
a couple of random baseball bats and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I think they just saw that, looking up as we are, to our knowledge, the only nonprofit in the area. They were
Mhm.
probably looking for nonprofit organizations and had seen something somewhere that
Okay.
had brought that up, considering that we were. I think there was some kind of Tonawanda connection, but we were able to get that from that, and I think they reached out. I think Nicole was the number one person behind that who was setting all that up, and she was just like, "Hey, when would you be available to do this?" Because I had my school schedule going,
Mhm.
hockey, tournament, stuff like that. And I was like, "Hey, I can do these couple of days," and I think she kind of finalized everything. But
Okay.
those were a ton of fun.
All right. And you plan on doing a bunch more too, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Getting a lot of kids into the sport.
Yep,
I
that's
wish
the goal.
I wish I would have known about this a lot sooner than I
Me
did.
too.
I mean, I know friends that have been playing since they were in high school, and that's been about almost 20 years for me now. So that's gonna. I wish I did. If I have 20 years behind my belt playing disc golf, I'd be pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of growth happening in this area, which is phenomenal.
Yep.
I mean, we're talking about new courses coming in, 9-hole little pitch and putt areas, new beginner friendly courses, elderly friendly courses.
Yep.
You got a special area you would want one in there?
I I guess I'll take a second to shout out. There's a new course that is going to be put in at Como, using the other side of the park.
Okay.
That's going to be for anybody who knows Como. I believe hole 1 is going to start right around where the casino area is, right in the middle.
Okay.
And
I honestly
couple of
didn't know that there was another side of the park.
Como's a much bigger park than you think it is.
Okay.
But after the first Sunday Fun Day, when I was actually overdoing the disc swap and kind of running that and getting that going, a couple people, I believe it was Kev, Nicole, Scott, Santos, and I think maybe one or two other people went and actually walked the layout and took pictures, and it's kind of been in the works for a long time, but nothing was ever put in stone.
Gotcha.
So now we actually have the pictures and the markings and everything we need to actually submit it. So sometime in the relatively near future, there will be it's going to be very beginner friendly. Kind of everything's going to be sub 200 feet. Get people in. For a lot of people who don't like Como the way it is now because of all the water, that's kind of
thanks, guys.
a big knock on Como, which I'm not going to fault you for that. But there will be, to my knowledge, I haven't actually seen the layout. I wasn't there when everything was marked, but I have a general idea. There shouldn't be a whole lot of danger other than a little bit of woods. So
that's fine. I like tight wooded courses. Is it going to be just a 9-hole or going to try to do a full 18?
It should be a full 18.
Wow, I might be able to score good at Como now. So
yeah,
there's I don't know what it is with me and Como, but I literally bring it up every single episode. I think it's just it's my nightmare.
Welcome.
Hole 1. I know. That's why I wanted to do more Sunday Fun Day, and I'm a little bummed that I can never make it out there. But it's like that's why I wanted to do it, so I can finally learn how to play Como. But there's hole 1. I never par hole 1. I don't know why. I'm lefty. There's nothing in my way. Just throw a straight shot, another straight shot. I should be able to make it there, and it's just I can't do it.
I actually had a friend who was curious, somebody who I was giving lessons to, ask me, he said, how do you par hole 1? And I actually made and sent him a video of I threw every shot under 250 feet on hole 1 and made a par.
That's what I'm talking about.
So there's a little bit of strategy to it. But if I'm playing that hole for a par, you can take whatever you feel most confident in throwing a disc that is straight, that's got a little bit of fade. So for you, being a lefty, are you throwing backhand or forehand?
Backhand.
Backhand? Okay. Yep. So you would take a little bit of a flip of your disc because the easier way to attack that is from the left side.
Yeah.
So land on the left side, and then if you go 250 feet up, that's going to put you just before the curve kind of the road. And for you, you would have your option if you want to play the safer kind of turnover. You can throw a little turnover shot. You're not trying to get a whole lot of distance. You're trying to get 200 feet. That's all. You don't have to push it. You don't have to do anything crazy. Or if you want to take it a little bit riskier, but you're going to end up a little bit closer, you can throw something overstable and use the road. You can skip off the road. You can
I've tried
over there.
I've tried that, but I hit the telephone poles coming back in from the road almost every time. Because my first shot, I have grip locked so many times and went OB over the road.
Like I said, it is definitely a little more dangerous, but it is more of a stock hyzer shot.
To be honest with you, I never did this yet, and I probably should. I probably should just grab one of my slightly overstable mid-ranges and just go straight up the middle twice.
Yep.
Because I can definitely throw those like 220, 230.
Yep, because that hole is, I want to say it comes out just under 650, I want to say. So if you go 250, 250, that leaves you with about a 150-foot upshot, which even if you're confident just going to do a circle, that's 120 feet.
Yeah,
leaves you a 30-foot putt.
Yeah, that's pretty simple.
So it's not super far on your last shot, so you can kind of be more technical, especially since the green opens up a little bit.
Yeah,
down there.
Yeah, the mid range I'm thinking of is it's a 4-speed, so I'm only getting at most 230.
Yeah.
So.
I
think I can do that. Yeah, now it's in my head. I'm going to talk myself up, and I'll grip lock or I'll
grip lock,
turn my wrist and roll it. So it's happened before too. I used to forehand on that hole and just try to fade in right before the pine trees.
Okay.
Because I had no backhand at the time.
Yep.
But it worked out, but I still could never par that hole, especially forehanding it.
hole 1 is a very mental.
It
hole.
is.
It
It's
gets in
all
your
mental.
head.
Yep.
I feel the same way about hole 14 as well.
Which one?
The full water carry
Oh yeah.
shot. What a lot of people don't know about that hole is from the whites to just clear the
Mhm.
water is about 120, 130 feet.
Oh, okay.
Is just to clear the water. The
Looks-
hole itself is just under 200.
It looks a lot further from
It
that.
looks
Yeah.
way worse than it
Mhm.
actually is.
Okay.
So, keeping that in mind, all you have to do is throw 150 feet to clear the water
Mhm.
from the white tee pads
Okay.
on hole 14.
I think I've always
That's all you
thrown
need.
it. I think I've always thrown them 2 nose up, and they'll stall out
Yep.
and come back into the water. I've
Yep.
done that so many times.
You just have to throw something smooth. You don't want to try to throw it too hard and be like, I gotta get over this water. I gotta put
Mhm.
everything behind it. You really don't need to.
Yeah.
At all.
I think last time I was there, it was the was it Sanctioned for Science where you guys had the red tee pads involved with it? It was kind of a safari layout. I don't know if it was Sanctioned for Science. It might have been something different. So it was last year.
Last year, what?
Like the one hole that I remember is like hole 4, the Mando hole. We played from reds to short position.
Was it Space Race?
Yes, it was.
There you go.
There we go. I knew I was talking to the right person.
I got you.
Yeah, that one was great. We played 14 from the reds, and I just did Anheuser with my mid range and just
Mhm.
floated it right down there.
Yep.
And it worked out very well.
Yep.
I was a pretty much part. I still miss my
Same-
putt, but
Same thing with the red tee. That is literally 80 or 90 feet
yeah.
to clear that from the red tee.
Mhm.
It's, you can practically, a lot of people can just putt across it.
Yeah,
Pretty much, if you just want to clear it.
I probably could, but I'm not gonna chance a putter. I'll
Yeah.
I'll
Neither-
stick with
neither
my
would
mid-range. Yeah.
But just pure distance numbers,
Yeah.
it really is not too far to cross.
What can we do about making hole 8 a par 4 from the
Nothing.
whites? Come on. There's something we can do. It's so difficult to get there for 3, I think.
I will say, little sneak peek into the future. There is going to be another pin position put in on hole 8 that will be a par 4.
Okay.
So as soon as we can get the supplies and get enough people to build it up.
I think what everybody likes is the foundation from the old pavilion there, an elevated basket on top of that.
That's exactly where it's going to be.
I think that's everyone's favorite.
That's exactly where it's going to be. So there's going to be a built-up green. Unfortunately, we do have a little bit of setback, as there are the county, I want to say, is demolishing our storage shed, a little white shed on hole 2,
Okay.
and that's where we have everything, all the pavers and all the supplies for that.
Okay.
So we're got to figure out what we're going to do with that, but that there eventually will be a raised green up on hole 8, being
Awesome.
par 4 position.
Awesome. I like the long positions at Como. I think a little bit better than the shorts.
Yep.
I never really see them in the shorts either. For some reason, when I go there, they're always in the longs, anyways.
Yep.
So I mean, hole 1 I've never seen in the short. Hole 2 rarely I've seen in the shorts. But like 4, never even knew there was long position for 4.
Yeah, that's a new one. That one's fun.
Yeah, I don't know how I would play that one, but that seems pretty challenging.
Actually, a couple weeks ago, both Jimmy Carmen and Marcus Salvador went and brought a bunch of baskets. So every single position
Mhm.
that has an alt has a basket in it right now.
See,
so everything's in the shorts and longs.
I think that should be
So shout out to them.
yeah, that's awesome because I think that should be a permanent thing year round for
Yep.
a lot of these courses.
That's what
If
we were
you
pushing
have
for.
an alternate pin position, I think because you can it gives you more options to play. If you
Yep.
want to do a safari layout by casual rounds or whatever practicing, do a safari layout. You can do long to short, shorts, longs, whatever you want to
Yep.
play. Different tee pads, and then plus just the lack of takes away labor at the season. Because
absolutely.
when do they do it in the wintertime? They'll move them from longs to shorts.
Yep. And
Yeah.
even when that, like when I went to move the baskets to the longs to the shorts,
Mhm.
I encountered a lot of problems with the locks being either frozen or just filled with dirt and
Yeah.
all this kind of stuff. So I wasn't able to move very many baskets from the long to the short. So I ended up just leaving the ones that I had to, just
Yep.
because it was getting to that time of year and I was running slightly behind schedule from where I thought I was going to be. So they ended up staying in the longs
Makes sense of
for
why
the winter as well.
probably why I never seen them in the short positions.
Yeah, definitely wasn't helping the case.
yeah. Like hole 7 in the long position. I love that hole too.
Mm-hmm.
It would be nice to see like a permanent lighthouse there with a basket on top, because it's just like
Yeah,
it's the
I would
thing
agree.
it's the first thing you see when you turn the corner. There
Yep.
is that pin position. So I think it would be a cool feature for the park. But these are just my ideas.
Yeah, no, the hole itself, I agree with you, is fantastic.
Mhm.
I have brought it up with a couple people, and unfortunately, the reason is kind of safety related, with discs flying or cars being blind around the corner.
I think Scott told me that too.
Yeah, the hole itself, unbelievable hole. I love the hole. I'm right there with you. I would love to see it be there permanently. But unfortunately, that decision is above my pay grade.
You can also move it 25 feet or so more towards the fence line and kind of take away that option a little bit.
Yeah, that's definitely an option for
it's
sure.
still going to make it difficult because now you're going to put it behind a few other trees. So I think that's actually a pretty cool spot too.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I'm going to say one more thing about Como, and hopefully I could be done with it. Hole 16, I liked the peninsula hole.
Yep.
But you guys moved it back further, and now I don't like it anymore. Because the logs that are down going across the peninsula, that was my landing spot.
Okay.
I was like, just throw something, hit those logs, it'll stay there, because then it's like a 10, 15-foot putt, and you got it. And now it's back another like 30 feet.
Yep.
So
unfortunately, that one got swept away by the winter.
Oh, did it really?
So it's completely gone.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately, Como had a ton of ice, and I remember my first time back out there, it was literally like a full-on glacier effect. And the glaciers themselves, that entire fallen log, everything over there was completely cleaned out by the winter. And I was just starstruck at it, because we have been talking about moving that log to like, we were going to move that log to make a barrier to like keep some of those skipping shots in a little bit. Plus it would just make in my opinion, would have made the hole look a lot cooler. And that was one of my plans for the year. And literally it ripped out the sleeve, the bucket, the concrete, everything was just completely gone. All of the logs we had back there, everything just wiped.
Wow.
So it will be put back in there.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Okay, I didn't know if it was still underwater.
We're gonna have a new strategy for that, but that will be coming back at some point this year.
Nice. Yeah, I remember last year playing. I think it was after winter a bit. I mean, it was like hole 9, because it's like you got the hills right there.
The hills with the trees.
It was just a complete swamp in the middle of it. I think it was close to knee deep.
Lake Como Part 2 and 3.
Yeah, right.
There.
We had a lot more water carry than what we were expecting. But
especially if you hit one of those trees.
Yeah, no, I made it.
Your retriever.
I made it. That was actually becoming one of my favorite holes too, because I pure a nice little hyzer straight through the trees, right to the basket.
Yep.
I don't quite park it yet, but I'm getting within 40 feet.
Yeah,
So,
I
not
usually
too bad.
throw as a right hand backhand. I tend to go up the middle as well. Just throw a nice little flex shot. Either a mid range or an overstable putt or something like that to get to that one. But I prefer going up the middle. I think it's
more fun.
Exactly. It's a more fun shot than just throwing a lazy hyzer out wide. Like,
everybody. Well, I know. I do that a lot for a lot of these courses, because it's very lefty friendly on a lot of them. It's just straight hyzer. But I mean, Bond Lake does that a lot for me. But it's okay. I mean, I still hit first available on a lot of these stupid easy holes, which it's
so do I.
It's what the game is. So what else can you do?
You laughed yourself and you get a bogey.
Yeah, pretty much. I still parred it, but we're good.
There you go.
Yeah, that happened to me a lot during I think it was our first round of point series at Outwater. I just kept hitting first available on like every hole that I usually park for birdies.
Yep, Outwater's one of those courses that you can absolutely shred it, or it can absolutely shred you.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've been there for both, because like
as have I.
I got a double bogey on hole 5, and then parred 6, which I rarely ever do, and then continued to just par out until I got to like hole 10 was my first birdie. So I'm parring one of the most difficult holes, hole 6, and then hole 10 is another pretty difficult hole. And I birdie that one, and then from 12 on was bogeys. So I just shit the bed.
I think a couple of years ago I went to one of the Outwater Point Series, and my practice round, I hadn't played Outwater a whole lot, so I was like, I literally just want to go see the course and just see if I need to add any utility discs or what I'm doing here. And my practice round, this is also when I stopped keeping score for my practice rounds, because that practice round, I think I shot like 10 or 11 under. And I was like, I'm loving this course. It's a little, a lot of the similar shots, so it just make sure that shot is ready to go. And
Yep.
in the round, I think I shot like even or 1 under or
Yeah.
something like that. I'm like, how did this happen when yesterday I was just hitting everything and all of a sudden
That happens to
there's
me.
nothing?
That happens to me a lot too, because I'll keep score during my practice rounds just to
Mhm.
because I hate doing it in my head because I always forget
Yeah.
which one I parred or bogeyed, whatever.
Yep.
But so I'll keep scoring on UDisc, and then like later on throughout the day, I'm like, I don't like that score anymore. I'll just delete it right off of UDisc. So I do that
Been there.
probably before I even leave the park. I'll just strictly delete that scorecard.
Yep.
But it happened to me a couple weeks ago at Pinewood. So like the one day, it was a nice day out, but it was like pretty windy out.
Yep.
And I think I shot 7 down. And
Okay.
then I went back the next day and did another round. It was still a really nice day, a little cold, but no wind.
Okay.
And I shot that one even. So, I mean, I was hitting like every tree almost. I could not get anywhere through it.
Yep.
So I just, but I was taking my medicine, not getting upset. And I was like, I guess
Yep.
we're just pitching up everything today. We're just,
I mean, there's lessons to be had in that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to make sure that you're getting up and out for par when you make a mistake.
Exactly my
you're-
point. At least I didn't bogey. That was my whole
Yep.
thing. It's like if we're not gonna like park these holes for an easy birdie, which I usually
Yep.
do there, then we're just gonna play for par today.
Yep,
Like,
you're not gonna pure every drive.
No.
It's physically impossible to do that.
mhm.
So just making sure that when you make your mistakes, you're able to make up for them.
Yep.
And scramble
Yep.
game is huge.
Mhm.
Sometimes you just got to make a 30-foot putt for par or
Yeah.
35-foot putt for par, and that
Well,
is
I try.
makes a lot of difference.
Yeah, 35 is still. It's like it's makeable for me. I could do it at my house when I practice all the time.
Yep.
But then when it like pressure is on me, it's like I completely whiff it. So it's like that's the whole point that I'm trying to make this year is trying to work up my mental game and not take everything so seriously.
Yeah, I
Um,
definitely struggle with that as well, especially coming from a hockey background and soccer and
Being-
just super ultra competitive.
Yeah,
It's just go,
exactly.
go, 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 go. And you got to like learn how to take a step back and be like, all right,
mhm.
take your medicine. You can't go for the hero shot every
Yeah.
single time because most of the time, probably more than most of the time,
Mhm.
it's not going to end up working out.
It's
So,
also crazy with practicing too. There's shots that I'll end up throwing in a tournament that I've never thrown in a practice type of setting or casual round.
Yep.
Like at Spring Fling at Wilson, hole
Okay.
14. It's for me it's just a straight lefty hyzer
Okay.
right around the corner.
Gotcha.
They had it in a longer pin position on the other side of
Okay.
the back trees there by the service road. So
Okay, I know where you're at.
yeah, for my first round, great shot, red just straight up out the middle there, just to get in a good position.
Yep.
And then I just bid big hyzer over the trees, and that was probably about 25 feet, 30 feet or so
Okay.
to the for birdie look.
Yep.
And hit the top band, so close, but easy par.
Yep.
Next round though, I cut it off too early.
Slide it off a little bit.
Yeah, and I ended up in the woods around the bend.
Okay.
I had no foot placement. Like I'm covered. There's vines everywhere. I'm
Yep.
like in the thick of
Wilson's
it.
got a lot of vines.
Yeah, and I threw a tomahawk out of it. I think with
All right.
with a Firebird,
Okay.
and I never throw a tomahawk, and it actually worked out. It worked out very well. I
right.
actually ended up almost about the same distance, about another 25, 30 feet to the pin again. I
Yep.
think I hit one of the little pine trees that were back there, but
Yep.
still another birdie look. But I've never throw a tomahawk at any other place. Only when I'm pinched off in the woods and I really can't pitch out.
Yeah. No,
So-
a lot of people, and I've done this myself as well, is have an overhand disc
Mhm.
where you just go into a field or practice scramble shots or whenever like you have no other options. Like I hate throwing overhands with
Yeah.
a passion.
Yeah.
I really do not like throwing overhands, but at the end of the day, sometimes that's your only option. So if
Yeah.
you find a disc where you know what it's going to do, just have that disc. It can be strictly for overhands. It can be a disc that
Mhm.
you've got in your bag that you just trust. Like you said, your Firebird. Firebird's a great overhand disc.
Oh yeah.
The more overstable the disc, the slower it flips and
Mhm.
gets to the ground. So if you're like, whenever I'm in this situation, that's the disc I'm going to throw. So that's
Mhm.
something you can kind of use to help out your scramble game.
Yep. I do have the Lone Star Chupacabra
Okay.
in my bag.
Overstable.
strictly for
Yep.
those reasons, because that thing flips on a
Overstable
dime.
fairway.
It's very overstable.
Yep.
Like that, I can throw that thing almost straight up and down. It's gonna just flip out of it. And it's crazy.
I love utility discs. They're
Mhm.
really, really fun. So I do have a double stamped Meta tilt
Okay.
in my bag, and I have a 300 plastic F7
Okay.
in my bag. That's, I believe, 127 grams or 128 grams or something like
Okay.
that.
Nice.
And you can do the little like grenade shot where it goes up and pans to the right. You can do Simon's Skamahawk
Okay.
with it, like a hole 7 at Como from the red tee pad.
Oh,
You
cut in the
just
corner.
go, yep, you just go straight up and over with a little Skamahawk, and
Okay.
you can get a couple oohs and ahs.
You know,
Or
I've been looking at that line from the whites because if I can just get my lefty backhand sky hyzer right over them all, if I can get that type of height.
Yep.
I keep looking at that line, but I don't think I'm ever gonna try it. I don't know.
you'll hit it accidentally.
I might.
That's what you'll do, I guarantee
I might.
it.
Just completely.
You're going to saw off
early-
your backhand, and all of a sudden you're not going to hear anything, and you're going to be like, oh, 20 feet?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That would be a cool trick.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's Let's see here. This boss that I have.
Okay.
Oh, I can't see it. Is it
Pro
one?
Boss.
Yeah, it's our Pro Boss. I can't remember the light. It's super lightweight.
Let's see here.
The other one, there's a yellow one up there. I have a Star Boss too. I think it was like 160 or 156.
Little Blizzard Champ. Love that.
Yeah, I had those in the bag too for that same reason. Cause
I think I'm seeing like 160 or 150,
It might be.
something like that.
I think it was 156 if I'm remembering correctly.
That's a fun disc.
Yeah,
For sure.
I had these ones in the bag for a while too because I love the Boss. I still have a Pro Boss in the bag. I think it is. Or
Okay.
no, I think it's Star. I don't remember now. I think it's Star Plastic
Mhm.
and Champion Plastic Boss as well.
All right.
They definitely fly different. for
Absolutely.
Sure. The Champion Plastic definitely is, I think, a little more flippier than the Star Plastic. So one's for forehand, one's for backhand, pretty much.
Alright.
I had the lightweight ones in the bag because, again, if I'm pinched off in the woods, it's just a slight flick with the wrist.
Yep.
I don't have
They
to put my
go-
whole arm into it.
I cannot recommend lightweight discs enough.
I don't have a lot.
They're so much fun,
Yeah.
and if you get one, I think there's a common misconception that light discs are flippy.
Mhm.
That is not necessarily the case.
Mhm.
There are plenty of discs that are lighter weight, even you dip into the 150s as
Mhm.
well, and you get them in, whether it's the profile of them or just the mold itself, that are not super flippy.
Okay.
And you can get that extra glide and that little bit of extra distance. Like if you take, I used to have, what was it? I think it was a Blizzard Boss. Now that I'm thinking about it,
Okay.
and it was like 150 maybe 149, but it was this super pop top,
Okay. Yeah.
and it was just a beefcake. But you can throw that big huge hyzer shot and get 20, 30 extra feet of distance
Mhm.
that you wouldn't have if you threw the same type shot, just a big old hyzer.
Yeah. I think most of
Um,
my discs are in the 170 range, 174.
Yep. Most of my mids and putters, I'm a little bit more on the heavier side.
Okay.
Just because I want the consistency in those shots.
Gotcha.
But drivers, I prefer 168, 169,
Okay.
especially for my ones where I'm really trying to put a move on it. Yes, do I have my real overstable?
Mhm.
I have a Halo Juggernaut. That's kind of my utility.
I don't think I know that disc.
It's really overstable. We'll put it
Okay.
that way.
All right.
It's high speed, extremely overstable. But like I said, that's really just for utility
Mhm.
purposes. That's literally all it is. I'm a huge fan of the Dynamic Disc Raider is
Okay.
something I'm really on, and the DD3 as well from Discmania. And I prefer those in lightweights.
Okay.
And just because you're somebody who is throwing super far, or if you just picking up a disc for the first time, like everybody can use a lightweight disc in their bag.
That's true.
Even like you said, scramble shots. If
Yeah.
you don't have a lot of room to swing back, or if you're jammed up or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
those couple extra feet can really, really, really help out.
Oh yeah.
Especially when you're trying to punch out of something. So
Yep.
I I guess I cannot recommend lightweight discs enough.
Yeah, it definitely helped me out quite a few times because what's your other move? You're just going to grab like a putter or mid-range and pitch out of the woods, and you're just, 8-10 feet out?
Yep.
You didn't gain any extra distance, but you can definitely just flip something with a, lightweight.
Yep. They're also easier on your body as
true.
well.
Yeah.
When some more, I don't want to call them elderly, but older people who come into the store and are looking to get into it as something to get them out, get active, we always recommend them to the lightweight section. It's genuinely great for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I wanted to show you something. Now I don't know where it is.
Is it over here somewhere?
I don't know where it is. It's fine. It's
So
probably
down here?
no. It is a Daredevil disc. It's one of their higher speeds because the rim on it is crazy. Oops, sorry guys. It's crazy. I'll show you after. It's not a big deal.
We'll find
But yeah, I can't seem to throw it because of I think it's a 14 speed, and just the rim in my hand just feels so huge. I was
going to say, some of those Daredevil discs, love Daredevil discs. I think they do a lot of unique things as far as especially their plastic. They have some super soft plastics, which I know Nicole really likes.
Yes, my favorite. My favorite putter is the woodchuck. It's elastic performance plastic, I guess it is.
Okay.
And yeah, you can fold it in half.
I don't mind necessarily softer discs, but not for my putting putters. Oh. Putting putters, I love having super stiff.
I have another
consistent
one,
release. I've tried some of the softer putters, and I just don't feel like I get the same release every single time. And then it turns into a mental block.
Yeah,
so
I understand
that's really
that
what it comes down to.
Yeah, I use it mainly for those big upshots. Like that was my throw in at JD was with that disc because it's either going to hit the basket and stay, or it's going to hit the ground and pretty much stay. It's not going to skip and roll anywhere because it folds on top of itself.
Yep,
so
those are
that's
very
why I love
advantageous.
it. And I would say about 40% of the time I'm hitting in the chains, so it's great.
Yep.
The last time I threw it at JD too with that was at the Foolin' at the Dizzle.
Yep.
It was a hole 27 from behind the guardian tree.
Okay.
And it's stuck in the cage. So, yes.
That's one way to do it. I know some of the elevation discs, the super super soft ones. You can actually take one of those from close range and like throw it through the cage.
Oh, that's crazy.
Some of those are pretty crazy.
That's a little too soft. Yeah, I think Brian, I can't remember his last name. I think he has one. You can literally like roll it into a ball.
Yep.
But that's obviously illegal. Can't do that anymore.
From the Pro Tour, you had Matt Bell with the blowfly, where you could literally fold it into. What you would do is you would fold it in half, and then you would fold it in half again the other way, and you could tuck it in and literally make a football.
Oh wow!
You can show there's a clip of it somewhere out there on YouTube. But literally, you can just throw it like a football, and then PDGA said that's frowned upon.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
Nobody really does it anymore, but it's a fun little goofy trick to show.
That's awesome. Now, so what? Let's ask this son. What is your favorite course to play besides Como?
Brutal. Obviously, I know you said I'm not allowed to say Como, but Como will forever be number one.
Okay.
However, I enjoy Bond as well when I get out there. I have an associate's from NCCC, or was now SUNY Niagara, which is literally 2 minutes down the road. So I would go there a lot in between classes after time. So Bond will always have a special place in my heart. And then the other course outside of here is gotta shout out Maple Hill.
Oh, okay.
I've gone down there a couple times. Ironically, only once for actually disc golf. The other times I just happened to be there either on vacation or downtime from a hockey tournament up in Boston.
I never had the chance to play anywhere else but here.
Yeah, no, that Maple Hills, it's the best. I'll be going back there for the Coach World Championships again this year.
Nice.
So that can't wait to get up there. And then the last course I'll shout out was both Deer Leaks Park and Nob Hill in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I lived down there for a little while I was playing junior hockey. And those are two awesome courses down there as well. So those are some other ones that come to mind.
I kind of screwed up the last vacation we had. I didn't bring my bag with me, so we went to. Yeah, no, it's like it wasn't like a big extravagant type of vacation. We just went to Maryland, but there's so many places I could have
Oh,
stopped on the way
absolutely.
back.
Yeah.
And she did ask me that too. She's like, anything, like, because we went there for something she wanted to do. So she's like, what else are we gonna do? What do you want
Yeah.
to do? It's like, I don't know. So we
Well,
just
I
hit
can't
up.
do what I want to do. 'Cause I don't have-
Yeah. It's my bad. We went and just saw some historical sites around, and walked around, and hiked a little bit.
Yeah.
Still
The
got
other-
out, but my bad. You know.
The courses we got to play for college nationals were amazing as well. We got to play at Winthrop, which is just a beautiful property.
Mhm.
Camp Canaan was an interesting course. Very very woodsy. Very. I hope you're hitting your lines if you go there,
Okay.
because if not, you're gonna have more fun. Because when you throw more shots, you have more fun.
Oh, of course.
Then what was the Westminster Park? That was a very park style course.
hmm
Super fun there as well. So
Do
those
you-
courses were amazing.
Okay. Do you prefer more of a open course versus a wooded course,
I
or you like the mix of both?
like having a mix of both.
Yeah.
I think I really love the course that we put up at Diamond Hawk.
Mhm.
For just being the open golf green grip and rip. But that being said, it's very a very one dimensional course just because of what it is. There's not a whole lot of technicality.
Yeah.
It's really a lot about distance control and controlling your angles, watching the skip.
Mhm.
We add plenty of out of bounds there, so
Okay.
you have to definitely. It's not that it's not a challenging course. It's just very you're not hitting any super tight lines or anything like that.
Yeah.
There was also one course. Actually, gonna shout out my buddy Caleb, who loved Renaissance Park in Charlotte,
Okay.
and that was a great mix of both open and woods. Like you went from tight woods golf to a couple open going down a hill, and I think that was probably one of his favorite courses of all time. And
Yeah.
so,
I think if you want to have like a good course that everyone's gonna love, you definitely have to have a mix of both.
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely,
We have an abundance of that around here.
yes.
There's definitely ones that I would pick more than over the other ones for sure. I mean, Bond being
Mhm.
one of them. Wilson is one of my favorite courses. That isn't really tight wooded, but it's challenging enough.
Yeah, it's you have to hit a couple lines
Yeah.
out there. There's some spots where you can get yourself in trouble.
I thought playing from Reds that we did the last event at Spring Fling, that was weird. For some reason, they had us playing whites and then Reds after for MA3.
Interesting.
It was very interesting.
I wasn't able to make that one, so I have no idea.
It was.
That's interesting.
I thought the Reds were a lot harder because it
Yeah.
definitely tightened up the lines for sure.
Yep.
So like I started on hole 11, and from Reds I smacked dead straight first available tree when I was just trying to hyzer around it.
Yep.
And it's like this is ridiculous.
I definitely like when reds are a shorter layout distance wise,
Mhm.
but still have the same challenge as the whites or even the blues do. Being able to have a good mix. It's not just a short like it. I feel like sometimes red tees can be the same shot over and over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Okay.
Keeping that variety
Mhm.
is something that I really like. That
Yeah, I think Wilson
Reds
does.
course
I
can
think
do.
Wilson does a pretty good job at that.
They do absolutely.
And I never played Reds anywhere else. Like JD had never played Reds from there unless it was the Safari layout. So
Okay.
completely scrap that idea because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I still get confused when I play there now too because
Yeah,
the
I
last
agree.
event was just a straight 18, and then Sunday Funday was the full 27.
Yep.
And I'm all confused watching people throw to a basket. I'm like, I thought it was that one over there. So,
Yep.
but
Yeah,
I'll learn it.
JD's got a million different layouts. I've played the full 27. I think I've played the white 18 once, but probably out of order. And I've done the bi-week blitz
Mhm.
layout as well, which is something completely like.
Yeah,
I think Maui
that's,
does an awesome job with that.
that one's wild. That's the one that
Um,
I know I think the most.
Yep, and then there's like an original Safari layout. It's like a longer
Oh, yeah.
course that like uses the entire space of the full 27, but it's
Mhm.
18 holes. So it combines a couple of holes.
What's that long hole in the back along the roadway? You got to throw. There's a giant bush right in front of the white tee pad, first of all.
Oh, that's hole 15?
I'm asking you.
I want to say it's 14 or 15. It's
Okay.
hole 1 of the green course. I wanna
Wasn't there a tee pad across the road?
There could have been.
I don't know why I think in there that there was. I might have just made this up in my head, but I feel like there was something across the road there, but I
Yeah.
might be wrong.
That's a fun hole.
Yeah, because there's another one too. I thought it was more of an island, maybe it was because there's a lot of new grass flying around. So
Yeah.
maybe it was at one
There
point.
is a hole that played as an island, but I believe the park filled it. It was like a
Yeah,
circle,
there's
and I
a
think
bunch
it
of
got
pine trees.
filled in.
Okay, so maybe I'm not completely out of my mind.
It definitely was an island at one point. I think I know the hole you're talking about.
Yeah, it's surrounded by pine trees, so
Yeah.
it plays well as an island.
Yep.
I don't know any numbers of what these holes are. So
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with JD. JD's about an hour from my house.
okay.
So that kind of falls into the category where if there's an event or if there's a group going up there, absolutely, I'm gonna go there. But if I'm sitting on my couch one day and I'm saying, hey, I've got time to drive an hour to a course,
Yeah.
I'm probably not gonna choose to go to JD if I'm gonna drive an hour.
I feel the same way about a lot of these courses because there's like I never get to play Emery unless it's an event that I'm gonna do, which maybe that's one a year.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the last time I played it was because it was Point Series. I don't think I played
That makes
any
sense.
other event there. What else is there? Shore winds. I never get out.
Same thing.
Never get out to
Yep.
shore winds.
Yep.
Plus, if it's already that far, I won't even do an event at these places half the time because it's already that far of a drive. 2 rounds of play.
It's a long day.
20. That's 20. Is it? No, that's 36 holes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
And that's if they don't add any temp holes, or sometimes you add a couple shorties or
exactly
1A, 1B type deal.
And it's usually why I
Which
don't.
is very common.
It's usually why I don't stick around after the event either and hang out because it's like I'm over it.
Yeah, you're gassed.
I've been here for the last 6 hours. I'm
Yeah.
exhausted. I got an hour.
And of course, when you have an hour drive and check-ins at 8 in the morning,
Exactly.
it's not like you're getting up and you're driving at 10 o'clock or driving at something like that. You're up, you're early. Especially for me, I'm a night owl, so
same here.
That can be a trouble.
Yeah, that's why we
that
do
can
it.
get me into trouble sometimes. But,
That's why we always do this at night too, because it's
Yep.
like I'm up and everybody else is asleep. It's perfect time for people to come over.
No, absolutely.
It's crazy. I mean, there's other ones I've never even tried to play too, like is it Apple Orchard or Green Orchard, whatever it is?
Angry Apple at Darien.
In Darien, I always mess that up. Yeah, there's that one I've never
I
played.
haven't been there in a very long time.
There's a few other ones. I mean,
I've heard they did a lot of work to that course, but I haven't gone back since I played a one-day event there and came back completely bloodied.
I heard it
was bad.
I heard there's a few other random hole, 9-hole courses too that I don't know about. I think there's one. It's at like a youth center in, is it Orchard Park? I don't remember
If
now.
there is, I haven't heard of it either.
I don't know. I think it's like behind a church or it's like a community youth center type of thing. I don't know if it's open for everybody.
That could be true as well.
I'll have to look at it. There's a lot of private ones on there. So
Yep.
That's upsetting, but
understandable though.
It is understandable. I wouldn't
Especially
mind.
if it's on your personal property.
Yeah.
You definitely don't want that being a public space.
That's what I'm aspiring to. So if I can ever
One
find
day.
some property, I would definitely love to. I mean, I got some in.
Right here.
I got some in the southern tier. At my hunting property, it's like 30,
Okay.
32 acres, all woods. It would be crazy. Big old hill too.
There you go.
But that's an hour and a half drive for me.
Yeah.
So I mean, it'd be something fun
Especially
to
when you're
do.
not going to be there very often.
Yeah. Plus, 20 minutes from my cabin is the Griffin. So and I pass,
Gotcha.
or I could pass Emery on the way home. Either
Mhm.
one. So yeah, there's really, and also now the new one at Hollymont is going to be down
That's
there
right.
too. So I got 3 courses.
Forget about that one.
There's actually more than that too.
Yeah,
I
there's
just
some
saw-
random ones I haven't.
There's some
explored down there.
Yeah, there's some other ones in the southern tiers, like one that's like it literally in the middle of nowhere. I don't even know if it's a full open course. I don't know if it's still there. I'm gonna have to investigate that this summer. But that'd be really cool. One of my things I wanted to do was definitely venture out to new courses, try to challenge myself a little bit that way. Because I think I played better a couple of years ago going into these events blind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Than I do now that I know the course, because I know like what to do, and I put so much pressure on doing that shot.
Yep.
And I think it screws me up.
I've got one PDGA win,
Oh yeah.
and it was an MA2, and it was the first time I'd ever gone up to Houghton, and I ended up winning that in a playoff.
Never played Houghton either.
And I have just crapped the bed the past couple times. Like, you go back and watch my round 2 from this year, a couple months ago, or don't.
Okay.
You want to see some interesting golf? Go check out my second round from Houghton.
Okay.
You'll see A lot of ups and a lot of downs.
Is it on coverage somewhere?
It is not.
Oh,
it's just
okay, you
on
said-
the scorecard from.
Oh, okay.
It's on PDGA Live.
Gotcha, because you said watch it. So I was like, oh, did somebody
Yeah.
film this whole thing? That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be really cool around here too.
Playing
But
on coverage is fun.
yeah, we'll get there.
One day.
Somebody will figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be fun this year. I have a lot of exciting new events that I have on the list. So,
Yeah.
a little bummed I can't do Lockdown at the Locks, but it is what it is. But
Yeah.
that one sounded so much fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting concept with only having the 8 discs.
Yeah.
I know I signed up with that. I'm gonna do it with my dad.
Okay.
So that'll be that'll be a lot of fun. It'll be fun. I wasn't able to make it last year. I think I ended up being out of town or something like that.
No, okay.
During that time. But
Yeah, I got a baby shower to go to.
unbelievable.
I know, right?
Gotta get your priorities
How
straight.
dare you?
Get your priorities straight, Jimmy. Come on.
I know. All right. Well, Trevor, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, absolutely, buddy.
Enjoyed talking with you. Please make putting league easier for lefties.
No.
Guys, if you haven't done it yet, go to Spartan and do putting league there at Spartan because it's a lot of fun. Very challenging trick shot holes, but trick shots don't count. So it's great. I love it. So, all right, guys, thanks for tuning in this week. I still don't have the giveaway bag yet, but I will get that soon. It'll happen soon. 250 subscribers are going to be getting a bag filled with custom discs as long as we keep getting subscribers coming in every
Love it.
10 to 20 people. I still haven't figured out the actual number. I'm going to be adding a disc in, but eventually you will get a full bag. So subscribe, like, share, all that nonsense. And thanks for watching. And Trevor, thank you for coming, buddy.
Thank you, buddy.
All right. Bye.